Hello, dear friend. You are watching the astrology prediction for Taurus for 2021. This video is for everyone who has their sun or rising sign in Taurus. We will talk about the most important changes through the year. You will have some great opportunities and also ability to structure things and to transform things. So it could be a very, very exciting year. We will talk about Jupiter and Saturn, the outer planets, eclipses, Venus, and Mercury retrograde. So let's get started. And actually, before that, I just don't want to forget to mention that you can download an astrology calendar for January completely free. Check the links below. If you are interested and you want to have the full calendar, you can purchase that. It comes together with an in-depth webinar about the year. So check the links and get your gift now. With that being said, let's move on to actually the most important change of the year for you, Taurus. Jupiter and Saturn, by the way, are both moving to your 10th house. 10th house is one of the most important houses. Actually, after first house, 10th house is the second most important. This is about everything that we manifest, everything that's visible. It's about concrete achievements and of course also our career. So Jupiter being most of the year in your 10th house, actually to be more specific, between January and the middle of May, and after that between August and December. So for the most part of the year, Jupiter is in your 10th house. It's an amazing time for new career projects, for starting a new business, for expanding your current business, and overall moving on with your career. It could be a time for promotion. It could be time to start your own business or career, or just to move on in a new field. Great time to concentrate on some social projects or anything that has to do with your reputation. For some people, this could be great time also for receiving some benefits, maybe some awards or other type of positive results. After that, around the summer, between the middle of May and the end of July, Jupiter will move to your 11th house. For those couple of months, you can also focus more on socially important causes or something that's kind of an ideal for you, something that you really believe in and something you want to pursue. It could be about community work, about social projects. It could be about some kind of vision you have for the future. You can focus on that, and you may also create some important connections with other people, expand the circle of your friends or people you communicate with. And here is the most interesting part. Those are not just random people you meet daily and you just have simple chats. Those could be people who share the same ideas as you, like-minded souls. I love this expression. And you may really create more of those connections in your life, especially during the summer between May and July. We have to mention also that while Jupiter is in your 10th house, it will square Uranus in your first house. And this happens in January, in the very beginning of the year, which could bring some kind of surprises or unexpected situations. From one side, those could be incredible opportunities for growth and the opportunity to move on another level. But with Uranus, we can also be shocked. We can feel like, oh my gosh, where did it come from? And more or less, this may also be triggered by yourself because Uranus is in your first house. So first of all, there could be changes and transformations regarding your goals, your vision, career-wise, socially, and so on. But you may also have this strong desire to change something, to change it yourself. And you can also change something about your project's behavior, even appearance. With Uranus in first house, it's time for some major personal transformations. So January can be especially interesting. As we said, Jupiter is not the only one who is changing signs. Saturn is also moving to your 10th house. Saturn will be between the 2nd and the 14th degree of Aquarius. Make sure to check whether the cusp of your 10th house is somewhere between those degrees. If you're not familiar with those degrees, you can use my free birth chart calculator and it will show you the exact degrees of each of the cusps of your houses. And if Saturn is crossing your 10th house, this may also bring restructurings or reorganizations or major changes in your work, in your business, in your career. Saturn is a planet which likes to test us. And we can't achieve things just like that with Saturn. We have to work harder. And the best thing about this combination, Jupiter together with Saturn, is that from one side, Jupiter can bring us the opportunities and the potential for expansion and the motivation, the ambition. On the other side, Saturn can make you more grounded, more practical, can help you to focus in more concrete things. And overall, if you are hardworking and consistent and you really deserve it, you can get promoted, you may have more success, more recognition in your work. So career will be probably the most important theme in your life during 2021. We have to mention also that Uranus will square Saturn and it will happen 3 times around February, June, and December. Those are also some potential changes and restructurings in regards to your career. There could be some unexpected changes, some surprises, potentially even some kind of shocking event. And you may feel pulled between the desire to keep things stable, to keep them the way they are, to avoid the risks, and on the other side, the desire to move on, to change things, and maybe even to destroy something which is no longer working in your life. And it depends on your chart, your personality, which of those is closer to you. Do you value more certainty or variety in your life? And no matter what you choose to relate to, you need to find the balance between those two themes in your life during 2021, specifically about career, social work, and also everything that's connected to you, anything that has to do with your own desires, your own project. And you may feel like from one side you want this stability career-wise, but probably with Uranus things will be kind of triggered and there could be shakes and ups and downs and lots of changes. So career and anything that has to do with your personal goals, those are the most important themes. Uranus is also in a very important position because it's in Taurus, so it triggers you. And it will be between the 7th and the 15th degree. Again, the biggest question here, where is your sun or rising sign? Which specific degree? Check the link below for the calculator. And if you find that Uranus will cross your sun or rising sign, this will also be a major event, because this, my friend, may happen only once in your lifetime. And if you are lucky to have this transit, it will definitely transform your life. It may not feel very comfortable. It won't be really fun, or it won't be that relaxing, And of course, it depends on how you take things, because if you are hungry for new experiences, for some variety, for some excitement, for more freedom, this may actually feel quite exciting and positive for you. But if you try to keep things the way they are, it can be very uncomfortable. So the solution for such a transit and such a time is to initiate the changes, not to avoid them, but actually the opposite, to initiate them, to try new things, to experiment, to think and behave out of the box, to think differently. So enjoy this Uranus transit and try new things, experiment. Neptune, on the other side, will be in your 11th house between 19 and 24th degree. Again, check whether Neptune triggers the cusp of your 11th house. Overall, this is a nice position which can make you dream more about the future, about some kind of idealistic vision you might have, and can also make you more intuitive when it comes to communication with people, with friends, and other important parts or people from your community. Neptune may also have a sextile with Taurus if your sun or rising sign is between those degrees 19 and 24, which overall is a very harmonizing aspect which can make you more intuitive, maybe more interested in spiritual things, in some spiritual practices, or something more creative. You may feel the desire also to spend more time with people who represent Neptune, maybe people with spiritual interests or people who are more creative. And the last outer planet is Pluto, which is in your 9th house. Overall, this is a very empowering position, especially if Pluto has a trine with your sun or rising sign. In order for this to happen, you need to have your sun or rising sign between 25th, 27th degree, actually plus minus 2 degrees. If that's the case, Pluto can empower you. Pluto can bring you more strength, more motivation, more ambition, more desire to have power and control over your own life, maybe over other people as well. And also it can transform your vision for the future. Your goals can become completely different, especially if the cusp of your 9th house is between 25th, 27th degree. It means that Pluto will cross this cusp during the year, and those are some very transformational phases. Deep changes in regards to your personal philosophy, your vision for the future, and your goals. But overall, Pluto is your friend. Pluto is supporting you. Next, we have the lunar nodes. Lunar nodes are in your 2nd and 8th house. The South Node is in your 8th house, which means you have to let certain things go. You have to release something. It could be negative memories, negative emotions. It could be certain dependence. It could be related to money as well, especially if you feel really attached to money. You may need to let it go. And on the other side, the North Node in 2nd house suggests that you need to be more practical, you need to focus on more concrete things, and also to rely more on yourself in regards to your financial well-being. Don't rely on partners, on other people, whether they're business or personal partners, it doesn't matter. You need to focus more on your own actions and activities that can help you to be financially supported and more successful in this area. North Node in 2nd house also requires more focus on practical things, to be more connected with the material reality, to be more grounded. Typically, that's not an issue for most people who have their sun or rising sign in Taurus. It's an earth sign, so overall Taurus people can be quite grounded, but it's not a rule. So sometimes even Taurus people may struggle with that. And this is a great time actually to improve this connection with material stuff, with nature, with finding the healing, calming energy around you, and so on. You can see here the dates of the eclipses, which can be important for you. The May eclipse triggers 2nd and 8th house, which is about financial changes, some kind of fluctuations, the need to find the balance in those areas. The June eclipse triggers your 2nd house. It's time to focus on something more practical, to do something on your own that potentially can help you to be financially more successful. The November eclipse triggers 1st and 7th house, and this can bring changes in your relationships and partnerships. If something needs to be released, you have to let it go. And the trigger here is more on finding the balance and the compromise between your desires and the desires of your partner or other close people. And the last eclipse, the December eclipse, triggers your 8th house. It's about letting things go. It's about healing and transformation. Next, we have Venus, which will be retrograde for around 2 weeks or even less than 2 weeks at the end of 2021 and then January 2022. Venus will be in Capricorn in your 9th house. Overall, this is a positive position, but it can also bring changes in regards to your goals, your vision for the future, your priorities. It could apply also to some educational goals and overall plans for traveling. You can be more emotional in regards to those areas, and you can reevaluate those things. This, by the way, is also important because Venus is the ruler of your sign. So definitely pay attention those last couple of weeks of December and the whole January of 2022. And finally, we have the Mercury retrograde phases. It's interesting that during the whole year, Mercury is retrograde 3 times and it won't change signs. So it will start the retrograde phase in one sign and it won't move to another one, which is a rare case. It's not always like that. In your chart, it will trigger the Earth houses, 10th, 6th, and 2nd house. The houses related to practical things, career, money, our resources, and our business as well. You can change things in those areas. There could be some ups and downs or just the need to reevaluate and then find a new direction. It's also triggering some practical matters like your health, your money, your energy. It's interesting that actually the practical things, the career and business are really the most important areas for you because Mercury is retrograde in those houses, but also, as we said, Jupiter and Saturn trigger 10th house. So the main theme of the year is career, changes, restructuring, some new opportunities for growth, but they will come at a price. You have to work hard for that. You may need to change something about yourself or about your own role because Uranus from 1st house will square Jupiter and Saturn. So changes, ups and downs, and on the other side, ability to move forward. That's the most important for you, Taurus, for 2021. You can get your free calendar for January. Just check the link below. And if you want, you can purchase the full version of the calendar and also the webinar about 2021. We'll talk in depth about generally what we can do with those energies, with Jupiter and Saturn and those retrogradness and everything else. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon.